Welcome everybody to my new video. In today's video, I'm going to tell you all about a trip that my band had this late June to a very big festival that we were supposed to play in the island of Crete. Well, this is a huge story, so prepare yourself, take your popcorns or your liquid, sit comfortably and take a listen. Well, it all began in late February that a well-known manager that is here in my hometown, Thessaloniki, contacted us and asked if we were open to play to a very big festival in the island of Crete in the late June. Of course, we were open, and that's all there was to it until a few months later. He contacted us again with more specifics about the event, the amount of money that we were going to be paid, and all the traveling situation. All good by then. Then, about 10 days to 2 weeks before the actual gig, he sent us the airplane tickets in order for us to check out that everything is correct, our names, our baggage and everything else. Everything was fine. And we were all very happy about this situation. The plan was this, take a good listen. We were supposed to fly from Thessaloniki here directly to Crete. The flight was going to be about an hour and a half, depending on the delays. And then a van would take us from the airport of Crete and take us to the hotel that was near the event, the venue, and then we didn't have to do anything. The whole place was ours to explore, and then about around 2 o'clock in the evening we were going to have lunch on a restaurant, and then around 5 o'clock in the afternoon there was going to be our own soundcheck. On this festival there were 4 bands, ourselves and 3 others. And the schedule was that we were the last, of course, to have our sound check, and at 7 o'clock in the afternoon we would hit the stage and perform our full set, which was about an hour and 15 minutes. That was the schedule. Then we were going to go back to the hotel, take a sleep, and then the next day we would fly back to Thessaloniki, but we had to stop to Athens first and take another airplane and come here to Thessaloniki. All good. And now, here's the twist. It was Saturday morning. Our guitar player, which he lives in another city, not here in Thessaloniki, came to pick me up first. Then we took our bassist, and then my brother, who is the vocalist and the guitarist of the band. And then we all went to the airport, first thing in the morning.
Here we are on the airport. Great. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
The flight was supposed to be happening at 8:50. We were at the airport at around 7:20, and we were very relaxed. We had plenty of time to do whatever we wanted. So, here comes the good part. We went to check in our stuff and ask random questions about the flight at the agency, the airplane agency that was hosted in the airport. And to our surprise, our bassist noticed that on the screen that shows the flights, there was no flight at 8:50. The only flight was at 8:10. And now cold sweat all around us.
Well, this is a report.
We lost our first flight because of the agency screwed up, and now we have to fly to Athens and then to Heraklion, and we will be at the venue at 6:30, and at 7 we hit the stage. So we hope that everything goes smoothly, and I will catch up with you later. We couldn't believe that this was happening, so we went and asked the agents here, and they told us that This particular flight was rescheduled some days ago. Ta-da! We were in a shocking position at that moment. We didn't know what to do. Our manager, who wasn't informed about this situation, hasn't arrived yet because he thought we would fly at 8:50. And then we called him and told him what happened. He was already there and he was in shock too. He made a few calls and tried to relax us, and he found out that the travel agency from Crete had screwed up and haven't informed anyone about the change of the time schedule of this airplane. So the next thing we had to do is to book the absolute next flight to Athens and then to Crete. So we did. The next flight was around 11:30, and the flight to Athens is around 45 minutes, and then we would take the plane from Athens at around 4 o'clock and be at Crete around 5. Of course, we couldn't do the sound check, and then we would hit the stage when we get to the venue. That was the initial plan, the new plan, and that is what we thought it would happen. At this time, we were relaxed. We went and gave them the guitars and bass to load in the airplane. Our gear was going to be fly directly to Crete. That was the easy part. And then when we went and tried to pass the control, our manager took many things that he wasn't supposed to take, so we had a little bit of delay there. The security guards stripped him apart, take all his stuff out. Okay, that was the easy part. Then we had 20 to 30 minutes to relax and then go to the gate to check in our tickets and then go to the airplane. Once we got to the plane, we thought that everything was good, but there was a delay. There was a huge delay. The airplane had passed the time that we were supposed to fly, and when the airplane started the engines to move around the main road in order to fly, we were informed by the captain of the airplane that one person was outside the airplane and his baggage was inside the airplane. And because of the laws, of the national laws of the airplane, tell us that this thing cannot be happening. Either the luggage has to come down the airplane or the person has to be on the plane. So we make a little turn around the airport and then we waited for about another 30 minutes in order for the person to be on the plane. After that, the flight got straight to Athens. The flight was okay, no problems there. And we stayed at the Athens airport for around 3 hours, having nothing to do at all but to talk to each other and making fun of the situation. And then it was time for us to take the next airplane to Crete. And then another funny thing happened. The supposed gate that we were going to pass in order to get to the airplane changed all of a sudden, and even the people of the agency didn't know what gate will be open. I went to ask a fine lady there, and she didn't even know herself, and she was supposed to go there as well. Finally, we found out which gate was the right one, and we passed it with no problems at all. We went on the plane. There was, of course, a little delay as usual, but nothing major. Then we went to the airport of Crete, and we waited for the guitars and bass to be on the thing that turns around and luggages fly over an elevator. But the funny thing is that our gear was behind us all the time, waiting for us to pick them up, and no one ever noticed. So the whole thing with the wheel that turns around was empty. All the people have left the airport, and we were still waiting for our gear. When we found out that our gear was behind us, the person that was going to take us with the van was already there. Very fine gentleman. He took us and drove us all the way to the venue. Well, here we are. We are ready to sound check and then hit the stage right on. We were supposed to be here at around 11 o'clock in the morning. Right now, don't know if you can see that, it is 7:22 in the evening, the afternoon, and we're supposed to hit the stage right at 7.
Ένα, δύο, τσεκ, τσεκ. Hey, 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 hey. Ένα δυνατό, ρε. Hey, αυτά. Hey, αυτό δεν έχει άλλο, να. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, ho. Hey, hey, hey. Na 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 na. Hey, hey.
This is the stage. Now, the schedule was that we were going to sound check and play 10 minutes later. The funny thing is that the whole sound check situation was with many problems because the audio guys had some troubles, and then the whole sound check was shifted about 2 hours later. And then when we got there, we saw the third band doing their sound check, and at around 8:30 we did our own sound check. We basically checked out that everything is working and everything goes to our ears, and around 9 o'clock we hit the stage and we did our live set. We skipped about 5 songs maybe, and we played for around 50 minutes, and the crowd was excellent. It was an amazing experience. It was a fine live, and then we got off the stage and it was time for us to relax and see the other 3 bands perform. And then we went to our hotel and take a nap. And now we got up very early next morning. It was a Sunday because we had to be at the airport at around 9 o'clock in the morning. Our flight was supposed to be happening at around 10, if I remember correctly. And ourselves and our manager went to the van. The guy that drove us around the area was there at the time that we had scheduled. And then we had to pick up 2 members from the other band that was playing the day before, because we were on the same flight, but these 2 guys were sleeping. And our manager took his stance and went right to the hotel room and banged their door to wake them up. These 2 guys were very funny, and finally we went to the airport. Then of course some trouble again. We had some issue with our tickets and the baggage, the guitars and the bass that we had with us. Of course I didn't carry anything. I took my drumstick bag and I was very happy that I did. I was not nervous at all. After we figured out the ticket situation, we couldn't find the right gate for the airplane. Finally we did, and then we got on the plane, but there was of course a new delay. And we got nervous because the next flight from Athens to Thessaloniki was going to be happening very quickly, but they informed us that they were informed as well about our delay, so that they would wait for us. But if we were going to be even more delayed, the plane would leave. So we were a bit nervous about that, and when we got ourselves to Athens, we ran to go to the next plane. We finally got the right gate almost immediately, but it was all around the other side of the airport, and we went on the plane. We thought that finally we are going to be back to Thessaloniki. When we got back to Thessaloniki after a very long delay, we were off our seats in order to get off the plane, but the captain of the airplane told us that we couldn't do that. He couldn't open the doors because there was some kind of exercise from some agency there, and we had to wait for them to finish. We did this, and we were lucky because around 1 minute later the captain informed us that this exercise was over and we could get off the plane. So we did, and then we waited for our stuff to be handed over to us, and then we got ourselves at home. So this was what happened. I left off some minor details here and there, but basically it was a nightmare trip, if you like. So do let me know in the comments, what do you think about what I told you? And don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and tell all your friends about my channel. Until next time, take care and bye bye.